This is Arts Alive. I'm Lynda Philippi. My guest today is Ray Van Baricom, and he is a master gardener and also the host of a weekly radio show called At the Root of It. So, welcome.
Thank you, Lynda. It's not to be picky or anything, but it's to the root of it.
To the root of it. I knew that. To the root of it.
It's on KLYC radio every Saturday morning from 9 until 10. And even though I took a break and went away, my two good friends, Kyle and Sharon, and Ruth, when she can, have maintained the show and kept it going. And it's just been fun, really fun. Because where I was at, Kyle could send me a copy of the show. And so on Saturday morning, I could go out on the awning under the awning with my cup of coffee and plug it in and listen to it, and it's a nice touch of home.
So now, I'm assuming that while you were gone, you were doing field research. Is that correct?
Sort of.
Okay.
To some degree. But they really did take it and run with it and had just fabulous planning. And it's also on YouTube, and there are probably 3 dozen videos still up on YouTube of past shows. So
Okay.
it's something that goes on and on and on. And it's sponsored by our good friends over at Northwest Greenlands.
Nice, okay.
And they've been very generous in maintaining the viability of the show, as well as being wonderful contributors to the other Master Gardener projects that go on.
So on the weekly radio show, then, do you address a particular topic every week, or do you answer questions from listeners? How does it work?
Well, both. We start out with a gardener's view of the weather for the week.
Oh, okay.
So that people who are thinking about doing things out in their backyards have a kind of a good idea of what the weather is going to be like for the week.
Okay.
Now, this week it's yucky. I mean, it is.
You're batting down the hatches.
Yeah, this is not a good week to be gardening. No. If you haven't done it by now, it's too darn late anyway. And then we go into something that's topical, and primarily topics that are important to people who garden in Yamhill County.
Okay, right.
We really don't care that much about people's rose bushes in Portland.
Okay.
We worry about the rose bushes and the vegetable gardens and the scenic atmosphere of Yamhill County.
Okay. Deer abatement and those sorts of things as well.
You betcha. We'll help you with them pesky little fur critters.
Well, you know, I know, like Sunset Magazine, for example, they do that thing of it's September, here's what you need to be doing. It's December. Do you do that sort of thing as well?
We do a little bit of that too.
Okay.
Generally on the first Saturday of the program, this is what you need to start planning for this week or this month. And these are things that are going on at the extension office that may help you do that, classes or meetings or whatever. Presentations that are brought in for gardeners. And these are open to the public. And most of them are free.
Wow, that's great.
There'd be a minimal charge once in a while, but I've never seen anything much over about $10 for. And that's only occasionally if somebody has to come a long ways, and they do need gas money.
Sure, of course. So this brings us to another thing that you've got going on beginning in January, which are the Master Gardeners classes.
Now that is my primary, this is the time of the year that I get pretty excited about it, because learning to be a Master Gardener was a major change in my life, and up until the time I took the class, I was really kind of a dangerous gardener. I was a walking hazard to the environment.
Really?
If it lived in my garden, it was a really durable plant.
Okay.
And the first thing I found out was that even though there's a fee for the class, the very first year I saved that amount of money back by not buying expensive fertilizers and bug kills and things that can run up to serious dollar bills and make gardening an expensive hobby. I can get by pretty well now on just a $1.49 package of zinnia seeds. can't show you the picture right now, but
I saw your zinnias.
yeah, they were like
Gorgeous.
7 feet tall.
They were, yeah, it was like a forest.
And that's just because of the mulch I put in the soil.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't fertilize them all year long. Those were actually supposed to be only about 3 foot
Oh my
tall
goodness.
zinnias.
Okay.
They were supposed to be large zinnias, but not really large.
Now, when you're talking mulch, are you talking about mulch that you've grown and created from table scraps, or are you talking about?
Well, you can.
Right.
I don't have any place to do that now because of our living situation there at the condo, and I'm pretty sure the homeowners association would get a little grumpy if I started stacking
Banana peels.
stuff out in the front flower bed. That probably wouldn't fly all that far. But no, I get my compost locally. It's produced locally. It's sterile for the most part. But then as I work it into the soil and I use it as an over cover, part of the reason the zinnias went nuts was because last year I took and mowed everything off, all the perennials except for like 3 bushes. But everything else I mowed off about 4 inches tall, and then I covered that up with 6 inches of compost. And
Okay.
my philosophy was, if it comes back, it's destined to be in my garden. Kind of a Darwinian.
I get it. Survival of the
Yes,
fittest.
if it makes
Right.
it, it was destined to be.
Okay.
And dadgum, if everything didn't come back.
I mean, it was gorgeous, really, truly.
Dahlias and things, I don't dig dahlia bulbs, okay? That's probably,
I don't either.
yeah. If they make it, fine. If they don't, it's $4 for another sackful.
So I know a lot of people have some pretty clay soil around here, right?
We all do.
Yeah, we have the clay soil. So is your recommendation that you just backbreakingly scoop that out and mix the compost in with it?
I don't do that.
Okay.
I put my compost right on top of it and maybe in some instances work it in a little bit, but I let nature take care of it. Stack it up good and thick, let the rains beat it into the soil, and if you went over with a shovel and dug in my garden right now, you don't have to step on the shovel to go down 6 or 8 inches.
Oh, really? Okay, good. So you've kind of got a...
It breaks itself up and the clay kind of works in
Oh,
through it.
interesting. Okay.
You don't have to really put on piles deep and then rototill it in. And
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
No. Unless you really need the exercise, I don't recommend that.
You want to talk a little bit about some of the classes that you're gonna offer?
Well, yes, this class is a 13-week class, and it starts January the 7th.
Okay.
And like I said, there's a residual fee for it, which you can find out from the Extension office, or you can find out at extension.edu/Yamhill. Or you can just call the local extension at 503-434-7517
Okay.
and find out the information on the class. There's still plenty of time to register because it doesn't start until January the 7th. Excuse me. But it's taught by staff from the Department of Agriculture at Oregon State University. It is like a winter gardening course. And they start out extremely basic, to the point where they just say, this is dirt, now let us explain dirt.
Okay.
But it's a very simple biology class, botany class, planning, organization of your garden, some chemistry, creative pest management, so you don't have to go buy vicious poisons.
Right. That's great.
There's ways to take care of aphids that work just fine.
Like the soapy water and all that.
Yep,
Yeah.
with a little horticultural oil in it, and they die just fine. But this goes on step by step so that it's easy to keep up with what is actually going on. It starts out with an introduction to the Master Gardener program, which is a volunteer organization. That's what Master Gardeners primarily is. It's a volunteer organization that's sponsored by Oregon State University.
Okay.
And it is for the purpose of beautifying your area, however small your area is, or large. Master Gardeners is not for the commercial farmers. They have staff for the grain people and the
Right,
orchard
advisors and things,
people.
yeah.
That's a whole different batch of cats. Master Gardeners is just for the backyard gardener. And then the first class on January the 7th is an introduction to the program, and in the afternoon there's a botany class, and it starts out with basic botany. On January 14 is going to be tree fruits.
Oh,
How to
okay.
grow, maintain your backyard orchard. It goes on to, there's an orchard pruning workshop where they actually show you how to trim your apple trees. If you buy a piece of property that has an old apple tree, you could learn how to rejuvenate it so it becomes a productive apple tree again.
Or like all those old hazelnut.
Oh, yeah. Then you get into pollinators, and bees aren't the only thing that pollinate. There's lots of birds and butterflies and other bugs, as well as the hundreds of kinds of bees and bumblebees that we have here. Then there's another class on organic vegetable gardening, how to really do it pure if that's what you're into. Then it comes propagation, how to begin starting your own perennials from plants or friends' plants. If somebody has a beautiful hydrangea bush,
Take a
how
cutting
could I get a piece of that started for me?
Right.
Without paying the $34.95 to go buy one.
Sure.
It can be done. Then we get into soils. And James Cassidy is a Department of Crops and Soil Science professor down there, and he's just a absolute kick to listen to. I've never seen so much fun with dirt.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's great.
He really gets into it.
Now let's just talk about this a little bit. Are the classes an all-day class, a 3-hour class, 8-hour class?
To some degree, it's Thursdays, just Thursdays. They start about 8:30 in the morning. There's a break for snacks at 10. There's another break for lunch at noon, and then sometimes there's actual classwork in the afternoon. Sometimes you go home and do your classwork online on your own computer.
Okay.
And you're taught how to access research sites to get information on what you've been studying in the class.
So is there actual homework?
There's actual homework.
And assignments and things like that?
Yep.
This isn't just to go listen to a few lectures and you're
No,
done at the end?
it's actually scheduled.
Okay.
Part of the cost of the class is a syllabus called Sustainable Gardening. It's a big book.
Okay.
I mean, it's something that you keep for life.
Wow.
And then the programs and the websites that you're taught how to access and given the magic codes.
Sure.
Yeah, so you can get into things. And you can go to the University of California, Cal State Fullerton, or you can go to Michigan State or Minnesota State. These are all research.
How to find it, sure.
You know, and find the information.
Ray, you're not going to believe it, but we are almost out of time. So if people are interested in this and want to sign up, I'm assuming they still have the time to do
They
it?
still have some time to do
Okay.
it. You can either do it by phone, you can do it online, or you can go down to the extension office. If you go online, just go to OregonStateExtension.edu/Yamhill/MG for Master Gardener. Or you can call 503-434-7517 and get into the program.
And get the
that way.
Progresso hotline.
Or just stop by and
You're right.
bum some coffee. Who knows?
Well, I really want to thank you for coming by today and sharing this information with us. And it's what an exciting
Oh,
opportunity.
it's fun.
Yeah.
It's a hoot, and you don't have to dress up for it.
Yeah, really. Just wear your grubbies.
Well, I'm formally dressed right now.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you.